Video 7.3 Azure Pricing Calculators. In this video, we will cover the following topics: the three main types of Azure customers and how they can access Azure products and services, the factors affecting costs in Azure, identify zones for billing purposes in Azure, introduction to the Azure Pricing Calculator, introduction to the Azure TCO Calculator, techniques to minimize costs in Azure, introduction to the Azure Cost Management product. Assume that your organization is using on-premise data centers for managing the workloads, but your capital expenditures are increasing and you cannot concentrate on providing solutions to your organization's customers. Now, you're planning to shift your workloads to the cloud and you want to know the customer's category you belong to, and you also want to estimate the cost for workloads before actually using the Azure cloud. Let us now discuss these. The Azure products and services are available for three main customer types. They are Enterprise. These customers pay upfront before using their Azure products and services, known as monetary commitment. This amount is paid annually by the customers. They also have access to customized Azure billing like daily, weekly, or monthly usage notifications, downloading detailed usage records, and viewing costs at the account and subscription levels. Web Direct. These customers can access the Azure products and services from the Azure website. The account that we created in this course is a Web Direct account. We have used the Azure website to sign into the portal. We can use all the services with the portal's help, and we pay for what we use. The payments and billings for our account are made monthly depending on the products and services usage. Cloud Solution Provider or CSP. Assume that your organization cannot use cloud services to provide effective solutions. Then you can use Azure as a cloud solution provider in your capacity as a customer. They are Microsoft partner companies that you as a customer can hire to build solutions on the Azure platform. Payment and billing for Azure usage occur through the customer's CSP. In earlier demo videos, we have seen that many other meter instances are also deployed when we create a resource like virtual machine. All of them contribute to the bill, which is obtained at the end of the month. Let us now take a look at all the factors affecting costs in Azure. Resource types. The costs are resource specific. What that means is, each resource is billed depending upon the usage and the number of meters for that particular resource. For example, a virtual machine's usage meters that contribute to its bill are compute hours, IP address hours, data transfer in and out, size, etc. Depending on the meter's usage of a resource, the Azure account is charged for each billing period. Services. The billing for using the Azure resources and the billing period may be different for Enterprise, Web Direct, and Cloud Solution Provider customers. Usage allowance are also included in some subscription types that affect the costs. The Azure Marketplace has various applications and services provided by third-party vendors. This has a different billing structure, which can be understood by going to the Azure Marketplace in the portal. Locations. Billing of Azure resources also depends on the location where the resource is deployed. Usage costs might vary between different locations. We have already learned about availability zones that protect our application and data when a data center fails. Azure also has zones, which is a geographical grouping of Azure regions for billing purposes. Note that zone is different from availability zone. We know that data is transferred to and from Azure data centers. This transferred data is known as bandwidth. Data transferred into the data center is free, but the pricing of the data transferred out of the Azure data center is based on zones. Let us now take a look at the existing zones. Zone 1, West US, East US, Canada West, West Europe, France Central, and others. Zone 2, Australia Central, Japan West, Central India, Korea South, and others. Zone 3, Brazil South. DE Zone 1, Germany Central, Germany Northeast. Before using Azure services, if you want to know the estimated cost for the resources, services, and products you deploy, you can use the Azure Pricing Calculator. As the name suggests, it calculates the estimated cost depending on your input specifications like region, tier, billing options, support options, programs, and offers, etc. You can use this estimated cost for configuring your solutions based on your requirements. To go to the pricing calculator, search for the Azure Pricing Calculator and select this link. You will be redirected to the pricing calculator page. Here you can see the different services available. You can select the service for which you want the cost to be estimated. I am selecting a virtual machine. Wait for some time for the price to get estimated and then click View. Here you can have various options like region, operating system, type, tier, instance, number of instances, number of hours or days or months, etc. It also provides you with saving options that can help in reducing your costs. In the bottom, it shows the estimated monthly cost. Let us select another service like a storage account. This also has a different option that can be changed and set as per requirement. The total estimated cost for both of the services will be shown here. You can download this as an Excel sheet, and you can even share this estimated cost. If you want to estimate your workload's cost after shifting from on-premise to the Azure cloud, you can use the Azure Total Cost of Ownership or TCO calculator. You will be able to estimate the cost savings by migrating to the cloud. A detailed report can be generated and exported. To look at the Azure TCO, search for Azure TCO and select the first link. First, you need to define your workloads like servers, databases, storage, networking, etc. Let us now select this plus symbol to add the workloads and leave everything as default. You can change these depending on the services and your requirements. Click Next. Now you need to set your on-premise workloads. The default values are the average industry values. You can change them as per your industry specifications and click Next. This generated the report which says that you will save nearly $88,000 if you use the Azure Cloud services. You can also obtain the breakdown of different services for both on-premise and cloud. This can be downloaded and can also be shared. In every situation we face, we plan to spend less and get more benefits. To minimize the costs in the Azure cloud, the best practices to be followed are: Perform cost analysis. Plan the resources and services you need. Read their documentation and billing information before deploying, and calculate the estimated costs using the pricing calculator and total cost of ownership or TCO. Monitor usage with Azure Advisor. You only need those resources that are currently functioning. Unused or underutilized resources can increase the billing costs. Azure Advisor recognizes the unused and underutilized resources and provides suggestions and recommendations to configure your resources to match the actual demand. Use spending limits. Use the free credits provided by Azure and the specific Azure free services if needed for your applications. Use Azure reservations. If you pay for some resources in advance, you can get a discounted amount for that product or service. You can pay upfront for a year or 3 years for virtual machines, SQL database compute capacity, Azure Cosmos database throughput, and other Azure resources. Azure Reservations provides these facilities. They are available to enterprise or CSP customers and for pay-as-you-go subscriptions. Choose low-cost locations and regions. Deploy your services where they cost less, and also research for the offerings available for different services so that you can get benefited by saving the costs. Apply tags to identify cost owners. Different organization teams will use a single Azure subscription. The costs for the different teams may vary. To identify the teams generating higher costs, tags can be applied, and then that particular team's resources can be analyzed to reduce the cost. These are the various options through which you can minimize cost. Azure also has a cost management tool with which you can perform cost analysis, visualize the spending of Azure cloud resources, create budgets by setting a budget threshold, and get alerted when approaching or reaching the budget. In summary, in this video, we have covered the following topics: the 3 main types of Azure customers and how they can access Azure products and services, the factors affecting costs in Azure, identify zones for billing purposes in Azure, introduction to the Azure Pricing Calculator, introduction to the Azure TCO Calculator, techniques to minimize costs in Azure, introduction to the Azure Cost Management product. Section Summary. In this section, we have covered the following topics: Azure SLA, Service Lifecycles in Azure, Azure Pricing Calculators. In the next section, we will cover some of the exam-related topics and tips.